Only a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Firmly, and then roll. How many a day?
How many? Maybe 250 to 300.
For Mai Nguyen and her mother Lai, they are closest when they are cooking together in the kitchen. An intimate and familiar moment between mother and daughter over a dish they've made many times. Their love of food, a constant in what has been a turbulent life.
My earliest memory would be that my mother would take me to Kindy. She would stop by where women would be selling breakfast, little snacks along the side of the road, and we'd be sitting on the verge of the road and just huddled together, just mother and daughter, and just eating quickly before I start Kindy.
Mai was born in Vietnam in 1976, just a year after the end of the Vietnam War.
As for the rest of the United States military,
That sense at the back of my, at the back of my head, the apprehension and the feeling of insecurity was there too.
In the wake of a harrowing war and a new communist government, Mai and Lai found themselves vulnerable because of their distant links to the former government.
Our citizenship got blacklisted. Increasingly it got to become quite suffocating. We decided to leave Vietnam. It was mainly just to go anywhere else in the world, anywhere else that would give us peace and freedom. The thing to make her make the decision to actually decide to leave her parents, the culture, everything that she knew behind was mainly because of me. From 1976 to 1981, we were in Vietnam before we escaped by boat. We had limited knowledge or a thought of what will await us any time in the near future. It was more at that moment that we just need to leave and hope to God that we don't die along the way at sea.
On a family member's boat, not knowing where they would end up, they spent 6 days adrift before reaching Bidong Island, a refugee haven in Malaysia. Mai was just 5 years old.
It was pitch blackness, I think I recalled. And we heard everyone was so excited that we saw land. We had to sink the boat and swim to shore. My dad decided to take me onto shore first. So he asked me to hold tightly onto his neck, and he would jump into the water, into the sea, and then he would start, swim to shore. When I did that, I did hold on tightly to his neck, but when we jumped into the water, the pressure was so great that I flew, my hands flew off, and then I sunk right down to the bottom of the sea. He was trying to dive deep down into the sea, how many meters, I don't know, deep, trying to find me, and he suddenly he could feel my hair through his fingers, and he snatched me up, and then he swam to shore with me, but by that time I nearly half drowned. My parents, when they felt land on their feet, I think they knelt down and kissed the actual earth itself or the beach, just because they knew at that instant that freedom, they had a sense of freedom and peace.
The island was filled with rickety shacks, tin huts, and there was barely any food. At one point, Bidong was the most densely populated place in the world, and life for the family was in limbo.
These people will wait, hoping some nation somewhere will offer them a better life.
The food, we had instant noodles. I remembered instant noodles and tinned foods.
Mai's family were one of the lucky ones. They managed to secure refugee status to come to Australia from Bidong after a few months.
The experience of flying was so surreal for me, and touching down, and there was no expectation. We had no idea what to expect, really. But when we saw people, Australian, white faces, looking at us at the airport with flowers and teddy bears and chocolates, and it's we're like, is this for us? We were just in total disbelief. And only later on did we realise it was on Valentine's Day itself, and it was maybe that was something that they thought they would do as well. But we were greeted with these kind of positivity and love and kindness that we will never forget.
They settled in Highgate, quickly making it their home. Mai went to school, Kiet found work as a fruit picker, while Lai found her own way to make money.
My mother would cook spring rolls and give it to the canteen ladies to sell. So 300 spring rolls she'd make a day. My dad would come back with these yellow packets of his wage, and he would give to her. And he thought that that's it, that he wouldn't think twice what's going to happen to the money that he gave her. But she would just sneak it underneath the mattress. So the money that she made from the spring rolls should help pay for the bills and stuff like that. So one day, out of the blue, she told my dad, I want to open a business. And he said, yeah, what business, woman, kind of thing. And she said, I want to open a restaurant. And he was like, we've got no money to open a business. And then she said, so no money, yeah? You say we've got no money? So I'll show you where the money is. And she started to go to the bedroom and she threw all these yellow packets at him and said, here is all the money that you've made. I never touched it, but I've counted it. And I think we've got enough. She opened the Dachau restaurant in 1984. So at the beginning, all her friends would come to support her. And so we had, just Vietnamese people. Increasingly, over time, it became that one half had all these Australian people trying to come into just a taste of food, and they liked it so much that it ended up that they filled the whole room.
The Dachau restaurant became a WA institution for 22 years. But even though it's closed now, Mai and Lai still love treating family and friends to their beloved cuisine. It was through that restaurant that they found belonging in the community.
We are very proud to be living in Australia, especially in Western Australia, just because the climate, the people, they are still very, very friendly, good people in WA.